morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today they've gone and revealed the biggest card from Paradise Dragona, the chase card from Paradise Dragona, and I feel pretty confident saying that. We've got the new Lisia card, Lisia's Appeal. We've got a special illustration rare. Now, I told you guys the other day, I showed you the full art of Lisia. And I said I couldn't tell you one way or the other if we were going to be getting a special illustration rare because we didn't know. And Pokemon do have a habit here of revealing the full art and then at some point randomly later the special illustration rare. So when you see a full art on its own, it doesn't mean there isn't a special illustration rare coming. Sometimes they just show it off later. But I also told you that I was very confident that we would be getting a special illustration rare Lisia because she's a ridiculously popular character and this really had all the makings of being the big card from the set, and of course they're going to, and yeah, they totally have. I told you the other day I'm a big fan of the full art, and I am. But obviously, the special illustration rare here is just special. And I kind of love the way they've done this with Pokemon. They've been doing this for, well, the whole Scarlet and Violet era, where you don't need to guess which one's a full art and which one's a special illustration rare. The special art rare really does look special. And it stands out, and it's lovely and awesome. And frankly, it's a very big deal. And yeah, the full art didn't have Altaria in the artwork. I'm just double checking here, looking super closely to make sure I'm not being dumb. This one absolutely does have Altaria in the artwork, but hey, it's a Lisia card. Of course it does. And as I've told you previously, Lisia is getting a lot of focus in this particular set. We have a full suite of merch that is coming along. We've got ourselves the sleeves featuring obviously Altaria. We've got ourselves a deck box featuring obviously Altaria, and then we've got ourselves a playmat featuring, yes, you guessed it, it's Altaria. Okay, fine. Makes perfect sense to me. So, getting a lot of focus here, getting a special illustration rare with the full art, and it's not a hard and fast rule, but generally speaking, over in Japan at least, the big card of the set does tend to be the most popular supporter card in terms of special art rare. Remember the terminology, special art rare in Japan, special illustration rare over in the West. Like if we go and have a look at Stellar Miracle, for instance, Japan's equivalent of Stellar Crown, what was the big card in that set? Well, yeah, it was a special illustration rare of Lacey. Obviously, it was a special illustration rare of Lacey. That was always going to be the big one. The Terapagos, cool card. Very nice one. One that I think a lot of people are into. Clear second place. But make no mistake about it, Lacey is the big card in Stellar Miracle. Lisia, unless something weird happens, is going to be the big card in this set. And we've not seen all the special illustration rares here. They've not all been shown off. They've not all been revealed. We have seen a couple of them. Pokemon-wise, we have seen Alolan Executor, and we have seen Latias. Now, for me... Oh, and actually, we've seen the Archaladon as well. My apologies. And I mentioned this the other day, that it doesn't look like a special art rare. Bunch of people have agreed with me, talking about the pose, the background, etc. I'm glad I'm not alone in that. It's not to say it's not a cool card, just doesn't look like a special art rare, and that's weird to me. Now, for me personally, it's the Latias, because it's Okacheke artwork that I absolutely adore. And remember, it does actually make one picture with the artwork rare of Latios. You put them together, one picture, it's beautiful. So that's kind of lovely. And I know a lot of people are going to like the Alolan Executor because it's kind of running around on a basketball court, and that's kind of fun. In terms of supporters, it really depends, honestly. And I know that's a bit of a cop-out answer, and I'm sorry. But the reality is, we don't actually know right now what they're all going to be. So it's hard to make a real good guess here. Like over in Stellar Miracle, we also had a Briar special illustration rare. But that was I mean, by a huge margin, not the most popular. You know, Lacey beat that out by a mile. And Stellar Miracle had 4 special art rare Pokemon. So we can probably expect this set to have 4 special art rare Pokemon. And as it stands at the moment, we've only seen the 3 of them. Your Alolan Executor, your Latias, and your Archaladon. So maybe there's a Pokemon that comes out in its space. Although, I don't think we've got any Pokemon kind of left that are super duper playable. So, like, generally speaking, if it's going to go and be like the most expensive, most sought after card in the set, it's got to be a special illustration rare of like a ridiculously playable EX, like Terrapagos in the last set. And I'm just not sure we have that here. No, I'm just not sure we do. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. You can't win them all. So this is probably going to be the big card in Paradise Dragona. Do remember that our English set is going to be Surging Sparks, which is going to be made up of Paradise Dragona, but also, well, Super Electric Breaker, although it's not been properly revealed yet, the Japanese set that's got the Stellar Terra Pikachu in. So, although this is the big card from Paradise Dragona, and it could be the big card from Surging Sparks, there is like a whole set that we haven't seen yet, which is going to be in Surging Sparks. And of course, we know that that's going to include a Stellar Terra Pikachu. And although it's not confirmed or official or any of that, I think we can all assume at this stage there is going to be a special illustration rare Stellar Terra Pikachu. And that's too many descriptors for one card. But the point is, that card is going to be a very, very, very big deal. Back in Rebel Clash, we had Pikachu V Max. But I think the important thing to note about that is, like, the best we had was Rainbow Rare? Well, that's not exactly a particularly big deal now, is it? This time we're going to get a special illustration rare, and I feel very confident we are. That is going to be a big deal. That is going to change some things. Paradise Dragona, it is Lisia. When we get to Surging Sparks, it gets a little more interesting. So Lisia as a card then, what does it actually do? Well, it gusts one of your opponent's basic Pokemon into the active, and then it confuses them. It is a decent card. It is a good card. It is not a hands down, flat out best card in the game or any of that. Yes, the gusting is nice, don't get me wrong, but you're only able to gust basic Pokemon. Against some decks, that's going to be absolutely fine, but there's too many evolution decks around right now. Charizard's still a great deck in this metagame, or the metagame, I suppose, right before this, because this set isn't quite out yet. We see that over in Japan, Dragapult is back as like a full-on top deck in the format. These are not basic Pokemon, these are evolution Pokemon. So the gusting's not going to be so useful against those decks. Whereas you can play Boss's Orders and you're always getting gusting. There's no question of, oh, am I going to get... Yes, you're going to get the gusting. Because you can get anything. Whereas if you play Lisia in your deck, you will 100% guaranteed have games where you go to gust and then you go, oh, yeah, this is the only gusting I've got and I don't want to get a basic Pokemon. And the confusion's a nice bonus, but a lot of the time we're gusting, not all the time, but a lot of the time we're gusting because we want to take a key KO. Well, that's not right. Now, if we had the old confusion rules, where you had to flip to retreat for confusion, then it would be a lot better. And I've not actually mentioned that in a video yet. I don't know how many of you remember this. The old confusion rules for the Pokemon TCG made you flip a coin and have to flip a heads in order to retreat, which was kind of fun. That's not where we are now. So, look, you got stuff like the new Tapu Lele that does an extra 90 damage if you're confused. And obviously, if you're playing Tapu Lele, then yeah, this becomes so much better. But I do worry that as a card, it's good. I'm not saying it's not good, but I am a little bit worried it's not great. Either way, we've got a full art, which is lovely, and a special illustration rare, which is phenomenal. It is going to be the chase card in the set, but I've told you about all of that now, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this in the comment section. Get us! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel, like the lovely Mary Sanders Lazenby, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.